There's something about family gatherings, the laughter, the stories, the endless chatter. But behind those smiles, behind all those happy faces, I felt a darkness creeping in. It was never just the food, or the wine, or the gossip. It was something far more unsettling. I could feel it in my bones. She was there. She had always been there. My sister's ghost. You might be wondering, what does it mean to see a ghost at a family gathering? Most would say it's impossible. But I'm telling you, I've seen her. She's not a figment of my imagination. She's not some fleeting shadow in the corner of my eye. No, she's real. And the truth is far more terrifying than I could have ever imagined. It started with the whispers. At first, it was nothing. I thought I was just tired. The house had been so full of people, so much noise, I figured my mind was playing tricks on me. But then, I saw her. Standing there. At the edge of the living room. Watching the family with those familiar eyes that used to light up every time I'd look at her. Eyes that no longer existed in the woman I had once known. I froze. My heart skipped a beat. "Are you okay?" my cousin asked, breaking my trance. "Yeah," I said, shaking it off. "Just a little tired." But the truth was, I wasn't tired. I was terrified. Because I had just seen the unseeable, the one person I had lost, the one person I could never forget, was staring at me from the shadows. The gathering continued like nothing happened. The noise resumed. The laughter, the clinking of glasses, the chatter about old memories, and yet I couldn't shake the feeling that something was deeply wrong. It wasn't just the occasional flicker of a light or the creaking of the floorboards underfoot. It was her. She was there. Her presence hung in the air like a thick fog, suffocating, weighing me down. My sister Emily had passed away a few years ago. The circumstances surrounding her death still haunted me. None of us had ever gotten the closure we needed. Her death was shrouded in mystery. Was it an accident? Or was it something darker? Something none of us wanted to admit? There were so many unanswered questions, and yet none of us dared to ask them aloud. The first time I saw her, I was standing in the kitchen, stirring the mashed potatoes. I looked up, and there she was, Emily. But it wasn't her in the way I remembered. She wasn't alive, laughing at some inside joke. She wasn't the sister I had spent so many nights talking with, sharing dreams and secrets. No. This version of Emily was different. She was pale, almost translucent, as if she wasn't fully connected to the world around her. But her eyes were the same. They were burning with an intensity I couldn't understand. I opened my mouth to call out to her, but the words wouldn't come. She was gone by the time I blinked. I didn't tell anyone. How could I? Who would believe me? But from that moment on, I could sense her presence in the room at family gatherings. I could feel her watching me, always just out of sight, always just beyond reach. It was maddening. Then came the night that everything changed, the night I could no longer pretend. It was Thanksgiving, and the house was filled with the usual clamor of relatives, the hum of conversation, and the scent of roasted turkey. I should have been happy. I should have been grateful for the family I still had, but instead I felt a chill creeping over me. There she was again, Emily standing near the door, her figure barely visible in the dim light. My heart raced. I tried to focus on the conversation happening around me, but every word, every sound seemed to fade away, leaving only the sound of my pulse in my ears. I couldn't take it anymore. I had to know. I had to confront this ghost. I stood up abruptly, pushing past the guests, ignoring the concerned glances of my family members. "Where are you going?" my mother called out, but I didn't respond. I couldn't. I had to find her. I had to know the truth. I walked through the house, my footsteps echoing through the empty halls. I felt the weight of every moment that led me to this point, every family gathering that had been haunted by her absence. every laugh that felt empty without her there. And then, I found myself standing at the door to the attic. The door was slightly ajar, as if inviting me in. I pushed it open, the hinges creaking under my weight. The attic was cold, the air thick with dust and forgotten memories. The dim light from a single bulb above flickered as I stepped inside, and then I saw her again. But this time she was different. She wasn't just standing in the shadows. She was there, right in front of me, her pale face twisted in a silent scream, her mouth moving, but no sound came out. I could feel her desperation, her sadness. And I knew. I knew in that moment that she wasn't just a ghost. She was trapped between two worlds, unable to move on. I didn't know what to do. I wanted to reach out to her, to ask her why, to beg her to tell me the truth. But I couldn't. My body wouldn't let me move. It was as if her presence had paralyzed me. And then, through the silence, I heard it. A voice. But it wasn't hers. It was mine. My own voice, but somehow not mine at all. "I'm sorry, Emily. I should have told you the truth." Tears blurred my vision as I spoke, the weight of my own guilt crashing down on me. The truth. I had kept it hidden for so long. The reason behind her death, the secret I had kept locked inside me all these years. I had never told anyone what happened that night. I had never been able to. "Please forgive me," I whispered. And just like that, she was gone. The air in the room shifted. The temperature warmed. The heavy, suffocating presence that had been choking me for so long lifted, and for the first time in years, I could breathe. I left the attic, my mind racing. But as I descended the stairs, I heard something I didn't expect. It was a sound, faint at first, but unmistakable. Laughter. My sister's laughter. I stopped dead in my tracks. Emily? Was she laughing? I rushed to the living room, and there, sitting with the family, was my sister. But this wasn't the ghost I had just encountered. This was Emily alive. The world seemed to slow down, and I had to blink several times to make sure my eyes weren't deceiving me. She was smiling, talking to my aunt like nothing had ever happened. Like she hadn't died, like she wasn't just a figment of my imagination. "What's wrong?" my cousin asked, noticing my wide-eyed stare. I stammered, not knowing what to say. "I thought I saw her. I thought I saw Emily." The room fell silent. All eyes were on me. But no one else seemed to see what I had. No one else knew the truth. And in that moment, I understood. My sister's ghost had been trying to tell me something. She had been trying to reveal the secret I had kept buried for so long. And I finally knew what I had to do. It was time to face the truth. It was time to let go, to let Emily rest in peace. But that wasn't the end of it. No, it was just the beginning. Because even though she had moved on, the story wasn't finished. The secrets, the lies, and the painful past were still waiting for me. And if I was going to survive this, I would have to confront everything, the truth, the guilt, and the ghosts of my past.